Welcome back to Fireside Bourbon, and we are continuing our series, a quarter century of our beloved whiskey. This is part 11, and this came from an article that I read out of Whiskey Advocate from the fall edition last year by David Fleming, where he wrote 25 years of whiskey, and he broke it down into these categories that I'm sharing, and just so much great information, and some of the stuff is interesting as you see where it's at today, 25 years later. Again, this is the 21st century, and it opened the door to a blossoming revolution in whiskey. The year is 2002, and we are in the fifth year of Whiskey Fest that Whiskey Advocate puts on in New York. It had launched back around 1997, 98, and it was held in New York at the Marriott Marquis. There was about 1,000 people in attendance, and there were over 200 master distillers, blenders, and brand ambassadors in attendance at that event. New York Times was amazed at the enthusiasm that was being presented by the attendees. The people were so into it, and there was new terminology being coined there. For example, the word expression became a new definer when it comes to our whiskey. Another one is peaty, especially on those wonderful single malt Isla Scotches that are so peaty. And they were impressed by the way they were describing their drams. Very interesting because we have watched the growth of that, and here we are some 20 years later, 20 going on 24 years this year later, and we have watched it how it's grown, and we have Whiskey Fest all over the country. And bourbon has really exploded with all types of events going on. Bourbon Con just wrapping up from last weekend. There's just events all over with it now. And it's a great opportunity for a community to get together. And with that, we want to go back in time and we want to toast with a great bottle. Got an early times poured up, and little backstory. It was created in Cheverly, Kentucky by Jack Beam, family member of, yes, the famous Jim Beam. In 1860, it became reclassified as a Kentucky whiskey because they began using used barrels. But it has been reintroduced with this Kentucky straight bourbon, and we want to toast our history. Cheers. Nice. I'm only here for another great whiskey story.